So in this video, I'm gonna demonstrate how to extinguish a temporary campfire site. In the end of the video, I will demonstrate the difference with permanent campfire site. So this is my temporary campfire site and my fire that I did, and we need to consider how big is the fire that we want to make. Do we want to use it to cook, or do we want to simply use it for the warmth? If it's very cold and we just need it for warmth for us and for the children, and so that we can plan how much fuel we need to put without being too thick, so that we have enough time to burn it through before it's time to leave the site. So now I'm in a process of cooling down the fire. You need to wait for the fire to cool down, and like what I said, we need to have enough time to allow the fire to cool down naturally. So now this is me disturbing the embers. I use a stick to move and disrupt the embers, so that it will cool down. And if you notice, there's a change of color in the embers from orange and white, and it will become eventually it will become gray or even black. At this point, most of the envus from gray to orange become black, and at this point, maybe it's good to pour our water. So we can pour the water from outside, spiraling inside. Wait, Summer, wait. So after pouring the first water, we can just keep on disturbing the embers to make sure that everything is put out using a stick, and checking with our own hands if it's cool enough not to start a fire again. Then I can put additional water just to make sure it's really cool and fire will not come back. And now we can start clearing away the ashes and the coals by scattering it throughout the site. So this is me cleaning up the temporary campfire site, making sure there's no coals hanging around left in the site, and I'm making sure that I'll leave the temporary campfire site as if there's no trace of fire, and I'll scatter a lot of the sands there. In this case, I use beach side, so I scatter some sands, and if we are in the woodlands, we can put some of the ground litter, such as, you know, maybe dried leaves or whatnot that originally on the site that we use. So now this is a permanent campfire site, and it's the same when it comes to extinguishing the temporary campfire site. We need to consider the size and timing. We need to allow the fire to cool, you know, giving enough time to cool down naturally, disturbing the embers using a stick, and waiting for or color change, and adding water until our hands can touch it. The only difference is that we don't need to remove the ash and coal after the embers and coals die down. So even though this is a permanent campfire and we don't need to remove, you know, the coals, we still need to keep on checking it, continue to move around, you know, the fire, and check with our bare hands so that we make sure that it's safe to leave the site without any active embers or coals.